Hey, Don Meir from CreativityWise.com here. So I just wanted to review a new program that I just got that I think is really good for sketching. It's called Mischief. I got it actually especially for a character design project that I took, and I thought it could be a really good tool. And actually, to tell you the truth, that I wasn't really expecting much. I was actually expecting to be disappointed, but I have to say I'm really impressed. It's not perfect. There are definitely definitely a place for improvement, but what it can do pretty impressively. So, thing is, as you can see here, it has some pretty simple brushes, very basic, and by the way, because of the screen capture program, there is a bit of some sort of a strange delay that you can sometimes see. Maybe what you just saw now, that it kind of fixes the line. But usually without the capture program, it really works well. Right, so I like drawing with this. You see, it kind of makes the circle a little bit rectangular, like angular, but this is not what it does when it doesn't have the Snagit program operating. So the thing about this program is that you can just sketch in any size, because it's vector based. Even though it looks like a brush, it's vector based. Okay, so that means that, and I'm just doodling here, right? So that means that when you first of all, you have an infinite canvas, and nothing ever gets pixelated. So you can go, you can go right in there and zoom in quite a bit, and you see that I didn't change the thickness of the brush, because the thickness of the brush remains constant. So I can go in and in and in, and I can get it more and more details like that, which is really nice. You can actually, in a way, play with the thickness of the level of details of the brush just by zooming. It's not always convenient. I wish there was like a tick box somewhere that said enlarge brush with zoom or something of that sort, but it's pretty cool like that. Also, there are inky things, right? So you can have this kind of more inky look to your stuff. You have more like a marker sort of thing. And it's a pretty simple program in terms of the number of buttons that you have to figure out or remember. It's really not a lot. It's really literally this panel that you can see here. So, and then you have it all there, right at the end of the right at your fingertips, as they say. But the really great value I saw in this is this infinite canvas thing. Okay, because you can just, it bugs me, for example, when I work in Photoshop or other programs that I have this limit of the page, and sometimes I would start drawing something. Sometimes I would start drawing something here, and all of a sudden, okay, so maybe there's a face here, okay, and maybe now I want this guy to be a magician, but I can't give him a magician's hat because I'm out of page, and then I have to move it, and then that whole thing. I mean, I can do some stuff, but that whole thing kind of gets into the process, the creative process of just throwing pouring down idea on the page. So, you know, and even when you work with paper, you can just grab another paper, and it's really simple. But you know, with a program, you have to start a new file and save the old one, and all that. And that, to me, it makes a real difference that I can just do that and go on drawing. And if I want some more, then yeah, why not? Let's have some more. Let's have a whole bloody building on his head, and it's possible, you know. Not that I know why a character would want a building on his head, but hey, some jobs are just strange like that. Okay, so yeah, so now I've gone into drawing a building, so I'm gonna stop that. So as you can see, this is really liberating in terms of technical limitation, space limitation, zoom limitation. So again, it's really great to just be able to do this and go way in. You see how it doesn't really get pixelated or strange in any way. So I can now just add very small details. You see, it's even not so easy to see the details of this. These lines are so thin when I pull out. So it's really great. And one other thing that I really liked is the paper feature. So you can see when I click paper here, I can choose all sorts of paper, and I can even play with the colors, and I can have legal pads or this kind of thing. You know, this classic math pad, or just some kind of texturized paper. It kind of makes the whole experience seem that much more tactile. So if I, for example, choose this one, maybe make it a little bit darker and add a layer under that, and I didn't mention it, but there are layers. Do okay here, and then I can just add, oops, and then I can just add some white to it. Maybe, you know, maybe a highlight or something, and then some of this. You can see the paper thing really makes a nice difference. And of course I can go back and change it to something more light if I want to, right? Or completely change the texture. So that also is a really nice feature, even though it's a little bit more gimmicky. But the real issue here is being able to explore and to I'm working on Go Dream now, which is my course about coming up with ideas. And part of the secret of coming up with great ideas is to just have a lot of really silly ideas. Like I've talked about this several times. I'm talking about it in the course, and that really allows me to do that, to just go crazy and add more and more stuff without worrying about you know, having multiple files or anything like that. Just have the whole thing in one piece. So I'm gonna open something I did yesterday. Save changes? No, not at all. This is ugly as hell. I don't want that to be saved for all eternity. Okay, so this is me looking for ideas for a game that I have in mind about squirrels, and you can see, I'm just gonna pull out a little bit here. And you can see how many ideas I have here, and some of them are really small, and then I kind of pulled out slowly. Of course, this allows it. So I actually started over here with these simple guys, and then I spread this thing around, and then I took some picture from the internet and kind of explored what a squirrel actually looks like. You know, then I tried to simplify it a little bit, simplify it more, and this is even more simplified to rectangles, to triangles. And then I made this, and then I thought, okay, this has gone a little bit too complicated. Let's simplify it a little bit more, and that led me to do this, and this one, and then that one. I'm just showing you kind of how. I'm just making a point about how much you don't have to control, you know, how you use the space, and I found that really helpful. And this is the last one, which I really enjoyed. Okay, so you can see I can have the whole thing here, and I can put it out as a PNG or a JPEG and paint it in a different program. I wouldn't recommend painting it in this program unless you're doing just a really messy quick sketch, because it doesn't really have very strong painting tools. So if you really want to paint, just take it to Photoshop or whatever you're using. But this is great, particularly for trying out many ideas, and just feeling very free to do that. So yeah, is there anything else? Yeah, one more thing that I'm gonna add here, which I really liked. It's pretty silly, but if you have a Cintiq, then this program has a you can actually get rid of the cursor like I just did, and then you can't see it, but I can just draw like a real pencil without having this cross all the time kind of bugging you and letting you know that it's actually a computer. So with the Cintiq, this really feels, this little strange little feature really made me feel that much more like I'm drawing on with a real pencil on a real piece of paper, but I still have my undo, which is great, and some colors and some different types of pens and all that, and of course an infinite paper. So bottom line, it's a great tool for this particular need. It's not really a great tool for making to me, I think, for making a very finished painting, because the layers are kind of not complete, not very. There aren't very many options for the layers, and even there's a pretty low limit of how many layers you can use. So all that. So it's not really for a finished product. It's more for searching and exploring, which is very important part, of course, of the creative process that I'm always teaching. So I hope you found it helpful. This is Don here, CreativityWise, of course. If you enjoyed it, if you want some more tips not about programs, this is kind of a strange little thing that I seldom do, but about the creative process, about how to work in passes, how to get rid of procrastination, how to enjoy more, get frustrated less, all that kind of stuff. CreativityWise.com /blog if you want. If you want to skip the registration part, that's fine as well. But do register, and then you'll have some newsletter which I'm sending every once in a while, and I hope you like it as well. Okay, enough blubbering. Bye bye. Cheers. Enjoy.